Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on our channel, Who Died Today American? We're back with more tributes. In this video, we have a list of American stars who passed away in the last few days, or just recently. Number 1. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, the former president who changed the definition of a post-presidency, passed away on Sunday. He was 100 years old. The former president passed away at his Plains home at approximately 3:45 p.m., according to his son, Chip Carter. After several brief hospital stays, Carter, who lived longer than any other U.S. president, started home hospice care in Plains, Georgia, in February 2023. Carter, the only Georgian elected to the White House, served one term, which was dominated by the Iran hostage crisis, but distinguished by his efforts to bring peace between Israel and Egypt. His work at the Carter Center in Atlanta with his wife, Rosalynn Carter, and his support of charitable organizations like Habitat for Humanity helped him gain notoriety in the decades that followed. For hundreds of years, people will be commemorating Jimmy Carter. In his book, The Unfinished Presidency of Jimmy Carter, Douglas Brinkley, a history professor at Rice University, stated that his reputation is only going to grow. The first of 4 children born to farmer and businessman Earl Carter and registered nurse Lillian Gordy Carter, James Earl Carter Jr., was born in Plains on October 1, 1924. After graduating from the U.S. Naval Academy, he joined the Navy submarine branch and, within 7 years, he rose to the rank of Rickover's Boys, the prestigious new American nuclear submarine fleet led by the legendary Admiral Hyman Rickover. Before a death at home altered his course, Carter was on his way up. Earl, his father, a farmer, businessman, and pillar of the Plains community, passed away from cancer. In 1953, Carter returned to Georgia with Rosalynn and their expanding family to take over the family farm after leaving the Navy and its far from the Plains posts, including Hawaii. He ran there for state senate after first running for school board. In 1970, he was elected governor. Before making an unlikely run for the presidency, Carter served one term with success. He won the Democratic nomination and defeated Republican President Gerald Ford in November 1976. Instead of taking an armored limousine past the people on his inauguration day, Jimmy and Rosalynn got out with their daughter Amy in tow and waved and held hands as they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue. Carter's accomplishments included advancing human rights, expanding the national park and preserve system, restoring government trust during the Watergate crisis, and negotiating a peace deal between Egypt and Israel through the Camp David Accords. Trouble both domestically and internationally overshadowed them. At home, Carter's own party opposed him and his advisors, the majority of whom were outsiders from Washington. Then, Iranian militants captured the U.S. Embassy in Tehran in November 1979. He attempted to negotiate before beginning a daring rescue attempt that was unsuccessful due to a chopper malfunction. Until the final day of his administration, he was unable to find a solution. He was defeated in November 1980 at home due to a faltering economy made worse by oil embargoes from the Middle East and the rising of the Republican Party under Ronald Reagan. Returning to the small town of Plains, Carter utilized the bully pulpit of an ex-president to launch his final, and, some would argue, best, act. Carter started helping to build homes for the underprivileged as a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, a relatively new organization established in Americus. After that, Jimmy and Rosalynn established the Carter Center in Atlanta, which worked to promote democracy, health, and peace globally. It will advance the couple's democratic and humanitarian endeavors. He received numerous noteworthy honors from nations, organizations, and international leaders for his efforts as president and as the head of the Carter Center, including the Nobel Prize and the United Nations Human Rights Prize. President Bill Clinton presented the Carters with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Clinton stated that no other couple on the face of the planet has done more good things for more people in more places than Jimmy and Rosalynn Carter. In November 2023, Jimmy Carter's wife of 77 years, Rosalynn Carter, passed away. Their children, Amy, Chip, Jack, and Jeff, as well as their 11 grandchildren and 14 great-grandchildren, survived them. Number 2. Greg Gumbel. According to a statement from his family issued by the network on Friday, Greg Gumbel, a legendary CBS sportscaster who broke down barriers over his career by calling some of the largest athletic events, passed away from cancer. He was 78 years old. In a statement, wife Marcy Gumbel and daughter Michelle Gumbel said, "He leaves behind a legacy of love, inspiration, and dedication to over 50 extraordinary years in the sports broadcast industry, and his iconic voice will never be forgotten." Due to what he claimed at the time were family health concerns, Gumbel missed his first NCAA tournament since 1997 in March. After rejoining CBS from NBC in 1998, Gumbel served as the network's studio host in order to continue broadcasting college basketball. While renouncing his role as an NFL announcer, Gumbel negotiated an agreement with CBS last year. He was the first black commentator in the United States to call play-by-play of a major sporting event when he called Super Bowl 35 for CBS in 2001. During his years as a voice for sports fans, particularly in the NFL and March Madness, Gumbel broke down barriers and set standards for others, according to David Berson, president and CEO of CBS Sports. Greg led one of the most amazing and innovative sports broadcasting careers of all time. He was a fantastic broadcaster and a talented storyteller, Berson added. After the network lost football in 1994, Gumbel left for NBC, but he returned when the network reclaimed the contract in 1998. Gumbel had 2 spells at CBS. Bringing Gumbel back was one of Sean McManus's finest decisions during his nearly 27.5 years as head of CBS Sports. In addition to raising the bar for our NFL and NCAA coverage, he was unparalleled in his generosity, kindness, sense of humor, and selflessness. McManus, who retired as chairman of CBS Sports in April, stated, "When he was around, he made everyone feel like he was their best friend, from the researchers to the technicians to the executives. His life was always built on his love for his family. Without Greg Gumbel, our industry and the world would be a sadder place. He will never be again." During its 4-year reign as the national pastimes broadcaster, Gumbel called Major League Baseball games and anchored CBS's coverage of the 1992 and 1994 Winter Olympics. He hosted the Global Figure Skating Championships in 1995 and the Atlanta Summer Olympics on NBC the following year. However, he was most well-known and had the most influence in basketball and football. From 1990 to 1993 and again in 2004-05, Gumbel presented The NFL Today, the NFL studio program on CBS. Earlier this year, Gumbel recalled how terrifying and daunting it was to take over as presenter of The NFL Today in 1990 from Brent Musburger. "It was an amazing honor," he said, "to be able to sit in the same chair and do the same thing, or try to do the same thing that he did." From 1998 until 2003, Gumbel served as the network's chief play-by-play commentator for NFL games, including Super Bowls 35 and 38. After the 2022 season, he left that position and returned to the NFL booth in 2005. According to a statement from CBS Sports, college basketball game and studio analyst Clark Kellogg said, "Like everyone who knew and loved him, I am saddened by his death, but I am also so very grateful to have known him in my life. To be touched by such a good man and partner is a gift." Gumbel was the older brother of Bryant Gumbel, who hosted Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel on HBO and Today on NBC. In 2003, Bryant Gumbel won a Sports Emmy for Lifetime Achievement. Greg Gumbel was born and raised in Chicago and earned a degree in English from Loras College in Dubuque, Iowa in 1967. According to the book You Are Looking Live, How the NFL Today Revolutionized Sports Broadcasting, he auditioned for WMAQ-TV, an NBC affiliate in Chicago, in 1973 after his brother became a sportscaster, despite his initial ambitions to become an English teacher. Soon after, he received an offer to work as a weekend sports anchor. "I'm a little shocked that I was hired." In the book, he stated, "I was definitely not a polished person. It took me a good year to start feeling at ease in front of a camera, by my own estimation." Gumbel was also employed by the Madison Square Garden Network and ESPN. On Friday, James Brown, the current presenter of The NFL Today, called Gumbel very telegenic and Mr. Versatility. After completing a job, he said, "It was a pleasure to call him a friend and one who could do anything that was given to him." Over the course of his lengthy career, Gumbel received numerous local Emmy Awards and the 2007 Pat Summerall Award for Achievement in Sports Broadcasting. He spent 30 years with the March of Dimes outside of his broadcasting profession, serving on its board of trustees. Additionally, he spent 16 years on the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital Sports Council.